Did I tell you I added a minor to my school?
No.
So I'm doing the web developing bachelor's, and I'm added a minor with a minor in graphic design.
Very good. Very good.
So it's only five more classes, and I'll have a bachelor's in science and then a minor in graphic design.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Hello. Welcome again to another show of West Coast Flunkys. I am Juan Carlos. That is Noah. And
Good morning.
Good morning. Good. Nope. I said I wasn't going to do that.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Good afternoon. Good.
I said I wasn't going to do that again. And I was going to do it again. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. There's a lot of news that we're interested about. We can cover about everything else.
Sure.
We'll start off with two sad news, and then we'll move into some other stuff. So last week I didn't get to talk about much because I was out in Vegas. That Vegas trip was pretty good. We were out there for 4 days or something. We were out there for 4 days. It was a great trip. We went to all kinds of places. Kind of did a blog on it. I think I put a bunch of pictures on Coast to Coast Outdoors of a couple of things that we edited. There's some on just kind of everywhere on our social media site. So if you go to our Facebook or our Twitter, you'll see most of the pictures that I put out there for that. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I will take credit for both. If you like them or dislike them, you can blame me. Or you can congratulate me. Either way, I'll take either. Say something. So that was a pretty good trip.
I always blame you.
I know. So that was a pretty good trip. Came back, and then we started catching up on some news, or I started catching up on some news, and, found out some sad news. Over at Ultra 4, there was a race that we cover. We didn't really cover. We just gave you guys the results. I was out of town. What happened was this gentleman, I guess they put a kind of a press release out of who he is. So it's a 23-year-old Cody McBride. Raced all weekend, did really good. And then, here, I'll read to you what it says. As some of you may have heard this week, the Ultra 4 racing community lost one of its own. 23-year-old Cody McBride, who raced his car number 689 in the 45 mod class. Cody took third in his class last weekend at the Medical Oak Stampede and unfortunately passed away due to a tragic work-related accident on Monday. This was Cody's first Ultra 4 racing season, and he was already making a name for himself. He was a proud member of our community and identified himself first and foremost as an Ultra 4 driver. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. For those wondering what they can do to help support his family, they want to continue racing the season in Cody's name, to continue the dream he started at this year's King of the Hammers. The family have set up a GoFundMe account to support the cost of the racing season. For those who would like to donate, you may do so at the following link: GoFundMe.com McBride-Racing-KOH. So I'll put the link down there. Go support them. Obviously, they want to keep the dream alive for him. It's kind of a tribute to him, so I thought that was pretty cool. Sucks that happened. It's kind of not much to say, but thoughts and prayers to the family.
It's kind of difficult, too. You think he races all weekend in somewhat of a relatively dangerous sport, and for a simple accident to happen first day back to work is kind of a bummer,
Yeah. Well, racing might be dangerous, but it also can be, you can die anywhere, really. I mean, you could be driving down the freeway and some drunk driver could take you out and that's the end. or somebody fell asleep behind the wheel.
Exactly.
Life is dangerous. So I don't think
Too.
I think racing is actually in the grand scheme of things, I think it's less dangerous. Just because
when it's done right, when it's done right, absolutely.
When it's done right, I think it's less dangerous, and
because if you're gonna if you got like street racers with no protection and no designated area to race, that's a risk. Same with off-roading. People go out for running thinking, I just got my little lifted truck with shocks and blocks, and next thing you know, they've rolled over, no cages, no helmets, no nothing. So it's not just street racers. There's a place and a time and a platform for any type of racing, and when it's done correctly, it's safe and fun. And you don't do it, you don't follow the rules, then you run the risk. So,
here's another kind of sad story as far as news goes. This week, a Marine Corps Osprey helicopters. You know what those are? It's not a helicopter. It's more of it's a hybrid of a helicopter and a plane. So basically, it's two propellers going forward, just like a traditional plane, but it also goes up and can land up and down stuff. And that's pretty cool.
Sure.
It made a hard landing at the Marine Corps base in Hawaii. So let me read part of this story. There was one Marine killed in that accident, and there's, I think, 4 other injured. So they're still in the hospital. And the only reason this is kind of news for us is because I've gone kind of through this.
A jarhead.
Yeah, I was a jarhead, and then we lost a couple guys who were in a helicopter crash off the coast of Camp Pendleton. So that was kind of rough. So here's this. The Marine killed after an MV-22B Osprey made a hard landing in Hawaii on Sunday was identified as Lance Corporal Joshua E. Barron of Spokane, Washington. Barron, a 24-year-old tilt rotor crew chief assigned to the Marine Medium Tilt Rotor Squadron 161 Reinforced, died from his injuries sustained when the Osprey he was aboard crashed during a training exercise, according to the news release. He was stationed in Miramar, California, prior to deployment with the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit. 4 Marines remain hospitalized after the accident as of Monday, including one who is in a critical condition. Colonel Vancel Cryer, commanding officer of the 15th MU, called Barrett a fine young man and one of the best the nation has to offer. Our heartfelt condolences go to this family and the families of all the Marines involved in Sunday's crash. Cryer said in the release. Cryer, the Marines aboard the aircraft, along with the civilian and military first responders, were heroic and selfless in the aftermath of the tragedy. A fire broke out aboard the Osprey, but officials said it was unclear whether it contributed to the hard landing or happened as a result of it. Fire contributed to some of the Marines' injuries. The MU will continue training in Hawaii. Captain Brian Block, a spokesperson, said Monday the unit left California earlier this month for a 7-month deployment to Asia Pacific and Middle East regions. So the 15th MU, what they do is basically it's 3 ships, one kind of almost an aircraft carrier, but it's really just meant for an amphibious assault. So one carries helicopters, Harriers, Ospreys, and stuff like that. The other 2 are kind of LCACs, which are those. No, the big one has the 2 LCACs. The other ones has like Zodiacs and tracks and all that stuff. So it's meant for rapid deployment, and what they do is they go out to different parts of the world and assist in different missions. So when I was we assisted it, like we went to East Timor and did humanitarian missions. We went to the Middle East. We went on kind of just different spots, Africa and stuff, and did different missions to support different parts of the world. And that's what they do. When something like this happens, they kind of just stop, but they have to continue with the mission, and it's kind of sad. So when they come back, they'll do their grieving process. Yeah, so they'll do a ceremony on ship also to go through that, but they won't be able to go to, obviously, the funeral. And that's it. I personally do not like Chinooks and Ospreys because I almost died in both, so I will not ever.
What's a Chinook?
A Chinook is two rotor blades. You ever seen those helicopters with two rotor blades? So it's a big, long one like this, and then has a rotor blade in the front and the back.
Mm.
So that's a Chinook.
Mm. Like the big Jolly Green Giants or whatever they're called. Aren't they called something like that?
Yeah, basically.
They're loud. I hear those suckers going wah 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 wah, and because I'm right by Los Alamitos Joint Reserve.
Have you seen the president's helicopters?
Marine One.
Yeah. So if you think of Marine One, he has that big. That's a kind of a fancy one, but those are the two rotor blades and stuff like that. That's exactly what that is. Obviously, he has the nicer one, the nicer package, but
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of that sad news this week. So that's it on that. Also, now that we've gotten through that stuff, let's talk about what we got going. Actually, let's talk about this. I wish I could stop saying
Are you meditating?
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So just a reminder, people, we have ncnspreview.com, Facebook C2C Outdoors, Twitter C2C Outdoors. If you guys have questions or anything for us, we're going to record. We have a special guest on Coast to Coast Outdoors this week. His name is Tony Pellegrino.
I have my own Twitter too, Noah_@_NCNS on Twitter.
Yeah. So we'll have all the links.
If you want to talk to just me and not Carlos, that's fine.
It's perfectly fine. We'll have all the links on the description. If you're hearing this on iTunes, you'll be able to just click on the picture. We are changing the picture. It's just taking a little bit of time to come up with a design.
It's work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yeah.
I can only do 6 things at one time. So
exactly. So there's that. So this week we have Tony Pellegrino, the owner of Genrite Off-Road. We're going to talk a little bit about his racing. We're going to talk about some history of the company, why American Made matters to him, why he kind of started that company. And I think that's about all the time we're going to have. I mean, we only have about 30 minutes with him, maybe 25, 30 minutes with him. So I think that's all we'll be able to squeeze in, and maybe try to do a part 2 on some other stuff. Just kind of get him, him talking, and then go from there. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
So let's get into some of the racing stuff now that we've got into that stuff. Over the weekend, Dirt Riot, or We Rock. Yeah, the Dirt Riot race happened in
They had another
Tucson.
race?
They have races just about every other weekend.
Every weekenders?
Just about.
Oh, wow.
They're
Same
pretty
places,
consistent.
Or they're going different?
No. They
travel?
They're traveling across the country. Okay. So basically they have 3 different series. Basically 3 different sections. So if you look at they don't have a Pacific. No, I don't think they have a Pacific. They have a We Rock Pacific, I think. But they have East Coast, Mountain, Central for Dirt Riot. So we're going to tell you 1, 2, and 3 of each class and then go from there. So here we go. 4,400 class. Number 1, 4431, Mike Clenzen. Number 2, 4472, Dustin Eisenhower. 85, Daryl Gray. He was number 3. They all 1, 2, and 3 did 10 laps, and they came pretty close to each other. So 10 laps. First place came in 2 hours, 1 minute, and 56 seconds. Second place came in 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 36 seconds. So just about 3 minutes or 4 minutes almost. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that a short lap course or what?
I'm not sure how.
10 laps in 2.5 hours can't be that big of a lap. Unless
No,
it's flat, wide open.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big lap. So it might be like 4 or 5 miles or something like that.
All right.
I mean, they have some rock sections and stuff like that. And then third place came in at 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 54 seconds. I mean, they were right on top of it. It must have been a really good race because they were right on top of each other. So that was pretty good. Yeah, first place kind of stayed in the lead the whole time. Yeah, they were right on top of each other the whole time. I'll post the results, or I'll post a link to all this stuff. 4,500, there was 2 participants, Mitch Funk and Julie Sparks. Julie Sparks came in second, completed only 2 laps. Still got second, so it doesn't matter. Mitch Funk.
She sounds like your type of racer.
Yep. First place did 7 laps. 7. So, 4,600, Cody Folson. Tim Adkins, number 2. 4,600. So then we got Super Mod Trail. 1, 2, and 3 would be Don Vallejos, Paul Kroger, Chris Langen. They all did 7 laps, and here's the breakdown on that. Number 1 came in 136.02. Number 2 came in 140.53. Number 3, 144.57. So they were also pretty close. I mean, 1 and 2, there was some distance between them, but I mean, anything going wrong, you get a flat tire, it's pretty much you lost first place.
Yeah.
Or vice versa or whatever. So they were pretty close to each other. That's pretty cool. Stock Trail. Mike Florian, Chris Pamula. Then Pro UTV, Frank Mion, Matt Carpinteria. If I screw up your names, I'm sorry because I can barely see your names on here. Then we got...
Don't lie. Don't lie. Let them know. You just learned English last week from watching Happy Days and Chips.
Yep. Especially Chips. Estrada.
Estrada.
That's the name of this episode. Estrada.
Estrada.
UTV. Logan Goodall, Brad Whitbeck, Trevor Crane. That's on UTV. 1, 2, and 3. And the last one is UNLA. I don't know what that is. Ernie Pacheco. So, those are your results. You had ones from last week from King of the Hammers. That was a pretty good race. We're going to try and find some video, maybe give you guys a couple links for the videos that they're putting out. There was one I do want to ask Tony this. Last week, I saw a video of his car going over to jump, and you guys on iTunes won't be able to see this, but he literally was over the jump, came over, and here's another car, whoosh, went over the car and went into the rock section. I guess he lost brakes or something. He didn't have any brakes and just went. It was like, just went. I mean, no, I think he was trying to just slow down, and there was no brakes, and he was up in the air by the time he realized it. So we'll ask him that. I don't know if that's what happened, but all I know is he lost brakes and he was over. So
he was over.
It was over. So
I'd like to see footage. There's footage of that, or you just?
No, there is footage. So I'm going to pull the footage up.
Find that.
I'm gonna pull the footage and show it to him and say what happened. I think it's on his Facebook page.
Let's diagnose this frame by frame.
Let's see what happened here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So over the weekend on our YouTube page, if you go to our YouTube page, I put a bunch of videos out. We went to a YouTube seminar, or not a YouTube seminar, a Muay Thai seminar. It was a pretty good seminar, basically teaching you, they taught us a bunch of stuff. Why do I keep saying, that's going to piss you guys off. So,
I don't know.
The first one is a white crew. Basically, let me explain to you what a white crew. White crew is basically a ceremonial dance or a ritual, kind of, to pay respects to the students, the ring, the coaches, the gym. You do that just kind of to pay kind of respects, a tradition to do that. They taught us that. So the first part one, the video of part one, has that. I'm going to try and interview one of the instructors over at the gym. Get him. He has a really thick accent. He's from Thailand. So I'm going to try and interview him and,
subtitles for
subtitles. Try to do subtitles or something so that you guys can see them. That'll be kind of a YouTube thing because I don't think we can.
Well, I'm working on. I'll get them on the site too. So anyone that's getting our stuff through the site, I'm working on getting those videos so you can get them on the NCNS preview as well. So.
Yeah.
Right now they're on the YouTube, but if your favorite viewing location happens to be our website, I'll make sure they're there for you guys.
Yeah. And then the part two, it's kind of almost a storyline, not a storyline, basically just a bunch of clips put together of what the seminar was about. We did a lot of clinching. Basically, it's a bunch of knees, how to clinch, how to get away from clinches and things like that. Offense, defense kind of stuff. Did also some offense, defense on kicking. So kicking techniques and what things work and what things don't. Did a lot of that stuff. And then at the end of the video, it shows kind of a picture, kind of a walkthrough of each person that was there. A lot of people there. It was a great seminar. And that was sponsored by KY Fitness.
All right.
But you can find me on Periscope at CTech4XJ. You can also get all our videos, podcast, all our information on ncnspreview.com.
Yep.
And find us on Facebook and Twitter at C2C Outdoors. Remember that this week we have Tony Pellegrino from Gen Right Off-Road. That episode will air on Friday, for sure, on Friday. So that'll be a scheduled release on Friday. We are doing the interview tomorrow. Well, this will air out. So this on Wednesday. We're doing the interview Wednesday, and then it'll be scheduled for release on Friday. So if you have questions, Tuesday, Wednesday would be the days to go ahead and do that stuff. Send in your questions on Twitter and stuff like that. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a good day. Good day. Good day, sir.
Adios.
Estrada.